Once you've finished contacting textbooks, hemming uniforms and filling pencil cases, you can get to the next item on the back to school task list, setting up a study space for the little learner in your house.
Now, research has found that there's a link between the study environment and effective learning. So to explain how to get it right, we're joined by Officeworks ambassador, psychologist Dr. Suzy Green from the Positivity Institute. I like that, the Positivity Institute.
Exactly. I'm feeling very positive this morning, James and Sophie, yes.
Thanks for joining us. Now, I like the word smart and study put together. I can usually manage
better than a stupid one.
Well, it is. I can manage the study. The smart is sort of lagging behind. Tell us about the most important things you think about a workspace when you think about, doing study at home.
Yeah, definitely. And there's quite a lot of research in the, workspace, but also obviously at home for study spaces for kids as well. So we know that the environment really matters. Obviously, like the desk, lights, filing cabinets, but it's probably even more important about how you feel when you sit down to study. And of course, the type of desk that you choose and the light and indoor plants, there's a lot of research around plants, but it really comes down to your mood, because when you're in a good mood, positive mood, if you like, the research tells us we're actually more productive, we're often more focused, and we get more done, and we actually learn better as well.
And when that's applying to school students and you want to set the year off on the right foot, how do you set them up to make sure that they've got the ideal condition to learn what they need to?
Yeah, definitely. So I guess the beginning of the year is a great time to reassess, regroup, if you like. And it is a bit of a challenge because some families have, more than one child. So if it's just one child, it's really easy, much easier to personalise the study space. But when you've got 2 or 3 or 4 or more, it's more of a challenge, I guess. But the research consistently shows the more that you can engage the kids in creating that study space, the more likely they are to use it. So that's really key.
Yeah, because my kids have desks in their rooms, but they never sit at them. They sit at the table and they want to interact and they want to chat to you and each other and stuff while they're doing their homework.
Exactly, and as you would know, sleep's a really big issue that's being highlighted in school settings at the moment, particularly senior high school students. So it's probably not the best thing to set up your desk, ideally in your room. We really need to have the brain associate your bedroom with sleep, purely, relaxation and sleep, rather than study. And if you're in there studying and you're really alert and focused, that can then impact on your sleep. So if you can, ideally have a separate study space. And I know that's not always possible, but whatever you can do to create a space, and you're really trying to, again, associate that space with study. So when you sit down, there's either an image, sometimes an image can be really powerful, or an item that when you look at it, and sometimes it's not even a conscious thing, psychologically speaking, it can unconsciously prime you. Study, sit down at this space, sets off the association. That means study, focus, and that's what we're really trying to achieve.
I find with new clients or new homes that I deal with in my own business, that sort of study area is near the kitchen, and it's an open study area that's a designated space, but still within, like Sophie said, still within space to be able to talk to mum and work with her. So do you find that space works because it's still designated?
Definitely, and I think it is tricky because some people are very happy and actually work more productively with noise, if you like.
I do.
Whereas others like me, I actually really need to block noise out. So, but headphones, a set of headphones for kids that might need to block some noise out could be really helpful. But again, it's going to come down to the child and whether noise is helpful or hinders.
And when does it become really important to have that space? Because I guess younger kids are probably only doing 10 or 15 minutes of homework a day, but HSC students could be doing hours of it, couldn't they?
Exactly. I think it's really important to set up good study habits from the beginning because, again, you're really setting up neural pathways, and we want to create some really positive habits going forward. And given that, many children go on to do longer-term study or lifelong learning, if you like, you really want to create those positive habits from an early age.
I really like the idea of you speaking from the view of the psychologist looking at it, because it's a really the understanding of how the mechanism works. And I think you mentioned about the feeling of the space being nice, but lighting is so important in a home.
Definitely.
I'm wondering how the lighting works when you study. You know, we work under strong lights in a studio. I don't want to study under these. What sort of lighting options can you suggest for people at home?
Look, again, if you can engage the children in selecting, or, you know, the students in selecting the lighting, that's probably the better choice. But there's so many options available now, and really funky types of lamps and that you can select. So lighting is important, but one other area I did want to highlight is plants or at least a view. If you can possibly provide an outside view, the research has consistently shown in school settings, children that have a view of outdoors, nature, green settings, do statistically significantly better academically. And although it's not all lost if you don't have a view, if you like, because there's also some really compelling research that shows even an image of nature seems to set off this well-being, this positivity effect that then impacts again on, I guess, your learning and your productivity.
With colour theory, which, sort of in my world I get, green is, we know that it's a relaxing colour, it's a calm colour. So do you think that it's I'm interested in your point of view. Is it the plants or is it the colour?
I don't know, and they haven't probably done enough research to sort of separate that yet at the moment. And look, they have done a review of the literature on colour theory. It's still not really, I guess there's still a fair bit of controversy around it, but generally they say the blues and the greens are more calming and the hotter colours are more energising. So I guess, if you feel like you're really stressed and you want to come to a space where you can be calm, then you perhaps want those colours around you, but if you feel like I actually need a bit of energy to get going, then perhaps, and it doesn't have to be a whole wall, it could just be an item again that has those colours in there that sets off those, I guess, associations.
And what about that saying, messy desk, messy mind? Does that still apply?
No, it's real. I love this. And I actually did a literature review for Officeworks last year, and it's very, very interesting, the research. So overwhelmingly it shows that a decluttered or an ordered desk improves focus and productivity.
Oh no, don't tell me that.
No, but wait for it, James. But they also did some studies to show that an ordered desk even leads to better, healthier food choices. So they sort of, put people in different settings, mess order, and then they offer them healthy versus unhealthy food choices. And if you've been in the ordered desk, you're more likely to make a healthy food choice. You're also more likely to donate money to charities. So it's really interesting. But this is where it gets interesting. If you really have to be creative and come up, and I'm thinking, students that have projects, and often in the beginning stages you're researching and uncovering and brainstorming ideas. The research again is fairly clear that a messy desk is better for creativity.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Did you hear that, everybody? What you just touched on it, and I love going through Officeworks. It's like a big Toys R Us for me, and I grab things. But it's really interesting that you mentioned about when I said the light fitting, to look at maybe letting the children personalise their space by getting that. So how do you find then that you can highlight your aspects and get your pencil sharpener and your stapler and all those things in a colour way that works for you? Because I like to have it look styled.
Exactly.
And letting them personalise it.
Definitely, and I guess obviously at Officeworks you can get everything.
Yeah, crazy.
So and there's so many colour options for some people, and that may be you, James. The character strength of appreciation of beauty and excellence is really important, and I'm like that. I like to have it really beautiful and the colour selections. But for other people, they're not that. They're not that fussed on it. So I guess the most important thing is the order. Some suggestions are that you take a photograph of the space when it is ordered, and leave that photograph up, and then after each child or uses it, they're meant to return it to that ordered space. So
put the picture of the nice clean state next to the beautiful picture of the rainforest, and they're going to be ordered, calm and clever.
And give to charity.
That's right, that's right.
Wow, it's very, very clever. Now, can we find out some more information from you, or go to a website or do things like this? Dr. Suzy?
Definitely. So our website, the Positivity Institute, we've got lots of resources on there. People can email us directly, but also obviously Officeworks have got a lot of information, and the WorkWise website, where I'm often writing articles in that place as well.
Beautiful. I think it's so perfect. My kids have just gone back to school today. I think most have, well, this week rather, Tuesday and Monday and Tuesday.
Today.
No, not today. You can stay at home today.
Exactly.
But thanks so much for coming in, and I'd like them to be smarter, not like their dad.
Smarter study. Thank you, Dr. Suzy Green,
Thank you so
Officeworks
much.
Ambassador.